Honestly, I never thought I would make one of these videos. This is SImple Champion Spotlight. Garen, the Might of Demacia.
My heart and sword, always for Demacia!
So, back in Season 5, Garen was pretty much my main because when I first started picking up League again and actually playing, I played a shit ton of Garen and have a score of 80,000 with him. But besides that, he's a great champ. And we're going to go over him today. Have you ever had those annoying tanks in game? Have you ever hated the Darius? Have you ever hated the Renekton? Have you ever hated the Irelia? Then play like a bitch and play Garen. Now, you see, the thing with Garen is that you could either go full damage, which midway game you're gonna do no damage against Irelia, Renekton, maybe a Darius, but those champs, any other top champs, really, you're not going to do any damage because they're going to be just like you. Alawi's going to be just like you. She's going to be tanky, but she's going to do damage. Or you could have, let's say, a Darius. He is just like you, tanky, doesn't really regen health, has to use mana, but is an all-around okay champion and can 1v2. Garen can really play like a bitch. His sustain in lane is really valuable because you could either build him full crit with infinity edges. Yes, that's an option because his E is literally just a spinning circle of death. You could go full crit if you really wanted, if you're snowballing, or you could just build all onto your Q because your Q is a nasty silence. But I'll be going over the abilities in just a bit. Garen's passive is Perseverance. Initiates after 9 seconds to 4 seconds after level 18. You get healed for 0.2 to 0.4 to 1% in max health every half second, 4 and 10% in maximum health every 5 seconds. If he is not taking damage, Garen's Q is Decisive Strike. Garen cleanses himself of all slows affecting him and gains 30% movement speed for a few seconds. Now, just imagine you have a Darius on you. He slows you, and then you just bop him with your Q. He's silenced, and you just run away. I've used this tactic many times. You can use your Q just to run away. So keep that in mind when you're playing Garen. Like the new players, you can run away with your Q. You don't have to initiate. It's almost like a free ghost. Really, it's really what it is. And additionally, his next basic attack within 4.5 seconds deals additional physic damage and silences. It's almost like a Teemo Q, almost like a blind, but it's just as bad. Although you only have auto attacks, but it's just as bad. And it silences him for 1.5 seconds. Now the scaling goes 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130 on his Q every level. So if you're snowballing, max that out if you can, if you really want. Plus 40% AD, so it scales off of 40% of your AD. Garen's W is Courage. The passive permanently gains 0.25% bonus armor and magic resistance every time he kills an enemy unit up to a maximum of 30 bonus resistance. It's both armor and magic resistance. So if you're snowballing, necessarily you do not need to build really any armor or health at the moment. But if you are behind, I do recommend a Warmonks because it does go hand in hand with his passive once you reach 3,000 health, because once you reach 3,000 health, Warmong's Heart will initiate and you will heal a lot faster. Trust me. Courage's passive is a defensive self buff and is also a utility self buff. Courage has no cast time and does not interrupt Garen's previous order, so it's just, you could just use it on the fly. It won't cancel your Q or anything. For the maximum number of stacks, your 30 stacks that you need for armor resistance and magic resistance, you have to kill 120 either champions, which is impossible, or minions. Courage's passive is retroactive, and Courage's active does not reduce the true damage. So if it is another Garen you're going against and you're the villain, you will take that true damage as it is. Your double W will not reflect any of it. Garen's E is Judgment. It has a range of 300 units and has a cooldown of 9 seconds. Active, Garen rapidly spins his sword around his body for 3 seconds. For the duration, Garen cannot basic attack. If you're building infinity edges straight onto Garen, you will be able to do straight damage. You will crit per spin. Your physical damage per spin scales from 15 all the way up to 30, and in late game it also scales up with AD from 34 to 37%. Enhanced physical damage per spin is 20 to 40. Judgment can critically strike, dealing 50% times 1 plus 2 times bonus critical damages. So just think how, if you built straight infinity edges, how much damage you would be doing. After 1 second, Garen can reactivate his E, Judgment, to cancel it immediately, reducing its cooldown by its remaining duration. So say you started out and you just stop immediately, you'll have from 9 seconds to a 6-second cooldown. Garen's ult is Demacian Justice. Its range is about 400 units, and its cooldown starts at 120 seconds and goes all the way down to 80 seconds. Garen's passive for his ult is the enemy with the most kills in the last 5 minutes is marked as the villain. The mark cannot be assigned to another champion while Garen is in combat with the villain. If more than one enemy has the same bounty, the enemy who received it first is marked as the villain. Garen's basic attacks and each spin of Judgment against the villain deal 1% of their maximum health as bonus true damage. Garen calls upon the Might of Demacia to attempt to execute the target enemy champion, dealing the magic damage converted to true damage when targeted the villain. The magic damage scales from 170 to 350 to 525 at the end, plus the extra scaling for the target's missing health. Now, if you're going to play defensively and hold your lane in top lane, I highly suggest just maxing out your W, because Renekton and Irelia right now are really strong in the meta, and for a fact can just shred through Garen with no problem. But you do have your passive, so I do recommend building Warmongs, maxing out your W if you're going to go for just holding your lane, and then getting a Sunfire Cape, and then on top of that, if there's a problem with mid, say there's an Echo, you got some AP, build a Spirit Visage, because Spirit Visage and Warmongs go hand in hand together to complement each other, and they also heal you really fast. After 4 seconds of not taking any damage from either minions for the Warmongs and the Spirit Visage, you will heal based, and it just stacks. It goes with your passive, but your passive will kick in before the Warmongs and Spirit Visage, because after level 11, the damage to you does not cancel your Perseverance. This has been the Simple Garen Champion Spotlight. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. Just to do the intros for this video, it took me a while because I had to figure out how to use a lot of the programs just to get the cinematic kind of look. So, I'll see you guys later. Peace.